Hi, welcome to another OrgPad tutorial. This time we will discuss selection and how to do bulk changes in OrgPad. It is super easy to select cells and links. Then you can apply one of the available bulk changes, like moving all these selected cells and links, changing their color, or deleting them from the document. It is also possible to rotate the selection around a certain point. In the end of this video, we will discuss further ways how to select cells and links, for example how to add another rectangular selection or how to remove it, or how to select all cells of one color. We will start by showing you how to select cells and links, and we will illustrate this on the document about our trip to Japan we were creating in the last video. So suppose that we want to select some cells here around Kyoto. One way is to select individual cells and links, and this is done by holding Ctrl or Command on Mac and left clicking on the cell or link you want to select. So for example, I want to select the cell with the golden temple. I will hold Ctrl, left click on it, and it gets selected, which is displayed by blue overlay color. And then I will also click on a link here and it also gets selected. So I can select links and cells like this in this way individually, but this is not super efficient. And also if I select something like Hiroshima here by accident, I can again hold Ctrl and click on it again and it gets deselected. So it works as a toggle. But of course selecting all these cells individually is not super fast. So usually it is faster to select using rectangular selection tool. And this is done by holding Shift, left clicking somewhere and dragging. So I'm still holding the left mouse button and I'm dragging the rectangle like this. And I will be selecting all of these cells and links inside of my rectangle. So if I now finish my drag, like this, all here gets selected. And now I can apply some bulk changes on the selected nodes. And this is done using the panel displayed in the top center. But there are only a few bulk changes available now because I am in read mode. But I can easily switch to the edit mode by clicking the pencil button in the top right corner. So I will switch to editing this document and now I have full list of editing options available to me. So first of all, if I want to move all the selected cells and links, I can just point at any of them and hold left mouse button and drag, and this moves the selected cells around. And if I want to move it somewhere outside the screen, I can point my mouse next to the border of the screen and it will start scrolling. So I can even get it somewhere far. Let's say I would want to insert it on the right of to-do list. I can easily put it here and insert it like this. But like, let's move it back to the original position. Now when I have some cells and links connected, I can also quickly delete them from the document. This is done by clicking the red trash button in the corner. So when I click on it, the cells are deleted from the document. And if I have deleted them by accident, I can undo this deletion by clicking undo deletion button in the top right corner. But at the moment, it has to be done immediately, right after an accidental deletion. But we plan to add full history of the document to OrgPad in future. And nowadays, if you accidentally delete something important, you can contact us on support and we might be able to recover it for you. Also, when I select the cells, I can change their style, for example, the color. This is done by clicking this style button And then I, for example, can turn the color of all nodes and links, all selected nodes and links to green. So right now they are green. I can also, for example, change the heading size of all the nodes to large or to medium. I can change the arrow style. I can change the arrow width and so on. So I can quickly modify styles of a lot of nodes in this way. And when I select a lot of nodes, it is also very useful to copy them. This is done by clicking this copy button or using the well-known keyboard shortcut Ctrl-C or Command-C on Mac. So I press Ctrl-C to copy, and now I can paste it anywhere. I can paste it even to other applications, for example, Microsoft Word or Google document or any place like that. Or I can paste it somewhere inside OrgPad, for example, within the same document or also between different documents. So I can paste it here, and I have two copies of Kyoto here. Let me erase some nodes we no longer need. Like this one, let's just keep 3 photos, and we can maybe arrange them a little bit like this. So I can play with that, and I can organize it like this. Now when I have these 3 nodes, I can select them and I can quickly connect them to something. This is done by this connection button here, and I can connect them either to a new node created here. Let's call this node Photos of Kyoto. And also I can connect them to an existing node, again by dragging and placing it here like this. So I can also create a lot of connections in this way. And when I have these connections selected, I can also flip their direction. So for example, I can flip them, and now they go from top 10 destinations to these 3 images. This is very useful when you try to create classical mind mapping structures of a list. Let's say I will be creating some shopping list in OrgPad. And so I need to buy 3 things. I want to buy bread, I want to buy milk, and I want to buy butter. So it can be done in this way, but also this can be created by clicking these 3 nodes, writing them there. So bread, milk, and butter. And then I can select them, I can connect them to the shopping list. And if I don't like the direction of the arrows, I can flip all of them at the same time. But of course, there are different tricks how this can be achieved in OrgPad. So I will show you one further trick, and we will export these types of tricks in a follow-up video. So I will point on the connection, and now I'm also holding Shift. I click on the connection button, and now I click, create another one node, another click, and so on. So I can create these star shapes super quickly by holding Shift while creating connections. And now I can write my stuff, say bread and butter and whatever I want. So yeah, creating these types of mind mapping structures is super easy in OrgPad. Now, also when I have some nodes and I want to open all of them or some selection of them, I don't have to open these nodes individually. I can select them and click on the Show Contents button, and it will reveal me what's hidden inside. And if I don't like having them open, if I want to close them again, I can also select it and press Hide Contents, or there is a shortcut available, Escape. So by Escape, I can close all these nodes. And if a document gets quite complicated, you might want to reorganize it a little bit by moving some stuff to a new document. So if I select these nodes and I want to move them somewhere else, I can create a new document for them. So this is done by this move to a new org page button. And I will, there is a dialog displayed where I have to choose the name for the new document. So I will call it Kyoto. Then I click on the move to a new org page button. And these nodes get deleted or moved to a new document, which is linked here inside this cell. So right now the preview is currently generated on our server. I can view it here and you can see that these 5 nodes are moved inside of a new document, Kyoto, which is linked, which is placed here. So I can go and I can open these and I can open Kyoto in a new tab and do some editing. So if your document gets big and you want to reorganize it quickly, this is the way. And if you later change your mind that you want to place these nodes back to the original document, you can just select them here, press Ctrl C to copy them, and then you can paste them back by Ctrl V. And they're back here. But this is a little bit unfortunate because they still stay in the original document. So if we want to move them instead of copying them, you can use the cut option. So if you want to cut these nodes out, you press the well-known shortcut Command X or Control X on Windows. So Control X, and now when you paste it here, they also get removed from the old position, so they get moved here. If you of course paste with an OrgPad, if you paste it to say Microsoft Word, they remain in OrgPad. So now I have this extra empty cell with Kyoto linking to an empty document. Let's erase it for now, and let's put Kyoto back where it was before. I can also connect it like this. And I have a structure which is looking very similar to what was there before. And now let's say that I want to reorganize all these nodes a little bit. Let's say I want Kyoto to have at the top of Hiroshima. Right now it's below. So I could, of course, select these nodes like this, and I could move them. But this is a little bit unfortunate because if I move them here, this basically this is a tangled mess. All these nodes from Kyoto are below Kyoto, and so they're basically, I don't have enough space. And of course, like move it to the top and then start to reorganize stuff and spend a lot of time. But there is another solution. So let's say I want to have Kyoto here. I can rotate the remaining nodes. And this is done by holding Alt or Option on Mac and holding the left mouse button and dragging the mouse either to the left or to the right. And the place where I started my drag is the center of the rotation. It is displayed as a small glass circle, and all the selected nodes and links are rotating around it. So if I move my mouse to the left, they rotate counterclockwise, and if I move my mouse to the right, they rotate clockwise. So I can position them, say like this. Yeah, this is looking good. And when I let it go, there are some repulsive forces between nearby nodes in OrgPad, and the layout gets a little bit improved. So I can maybe quickly reorganize it like this. Maybe also let's rotate Hiroshima. So let's do it again. Let's rotate it. Let's put it here. Maybe I could move these things on the top a little bit closer. Yeah, and I can play with this like this. And you can see that when I'm used to these bulk changes and the selection, it's really powerful, and I can reorganize even a very large document in OrgPad super quickly. Let's conclude this video by showing you some further options for selecting nodes. So rectangular selection is very lovely, but sometimes it happens that let's say we want to add Hiroshima nodes here, and we don't want to add the great sightseeing node in Japan. So we can't really select all of these nodes at the same time. I can, but then I would have to deselect these nodes manually. It's a lot of work. So it would be lovely if I could just add the selection. If I start creating new rectangular selection by holding Shift and dragging, the old selection gets removed. And if I want to preserve what was selected before, I also have to hold Control or Command on Mac. So now I am holding Shift and Control, and I will drag a rectangle, and this rectangle gets added to my previous selection. And I can continue like this. Let's say I want to also add the edits and so on. Now, if I have selected something by accident, I can always unselect it by control clicking on these nodes and links, but this is a little bit slow. So it also is very useful that I can unselect a rectangle selection, and this is done by holding Shift and Alt or Shift and Option on Mac. And now I will drag a rectangle, and this rectangle gets deselected. So right now I'm removing selection on these three nodes and the attached links. Another useful trick is to select all nodes of one color. Let's say I want to transform the Miyajima Island nodes, which are pink. So I am now holding Control or Command on Mac, and I double click on any pink node, and all pink nodes get selected. Similarly, I can double click any pink edge, any pink link. They also get selected, and now I can, for example, recolor these nodes to green, for example. Or I can move them around and so on. So yeah, selecting one type of colors, one type of color is super easy by control double clicking node or link. It is also useful to select all nodes in the document. For that, we can use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl A or Command A on Mac. And this is actually a very useful keyboard shortcut in general. It works in a lot of applications. When you want to select everything, just press Ctrl A. Now I can, for example, move the things around, but this is not super useful because a document in OrgPad lives inside an infinite canvas. So if I move everything, nothing really changes. But I can also use it, for example, to open all the nodes or to hide them again. And I can also copy this stuff somewhere outside. For example, let's say I copy it and then I go to a new document in Google Docs and I paste it here. And it gets basically pasted for me inside. So as you can see, I have all my notes and the pictures are copied here. So if, say, I have to write some paper and the paper should be written in Google Docs or Microsoft Word, I can easily prepare it in OrgPad. And then when I'm done with planning inside OrgPad, I can transform it into a classical linear document. Now let's conclude this video by showing you one more selection option, which is called expansion. So let's say I have two nodes selected here. If now I press Control Up or on Mac Command Up, it will also select me all their neighbors. So it will select me all nodes which are connected to them and these connections. If I press it again, I will also expand to their neighbors. and again to their neighbors, and so on and so on. If I click on this a few times, I will be able to quickly select everything which is connected to Kyoto. Yeah, and so I can use Control Up, or I can use the one key page up. So page up also does the expansion. Now, if I have added the last layer by accident, I want to go back, I can use Control Down or Page Down. And each time I press Control Down, I will get one layer back. So I can expand and de-expand back like this. But now suppose that I don't want to, I want just to select these nodes for Kyoto, and I don't want to go down to the Hiroshima direction. I don't want to select Hiroshima. So one way is to deselect deselect the Hiroshima node by control clicking on it and let's say on the connection. And now when I do further expansion, the Hiroshima node is ignored because I manually deselected it before. There is another way how I can achieve this. If I also hold Shift, so I press Control Shift Up or Shift Page Up, now I'm expanding only in the direction of arrows. So when there is a connection which goes against the direction of the arrows, it is ignored. So in this way, I will select everything, but I am skipping Hiroshima. And this is very useful if you are creating a document in the classical mind mapping structure, where you have a node in the center, and then there are arrows going out of it to basically as a sort of as a star, and then there are further arrows going out to their children, and so on, like branching like this. Then you can quickly click on the parent node, and then press Control Shift Up a few times, and you will select all their children or their descendants. And you can manipulate them around, like move stuff around and so on. And of course, if you use connections without any arrows, like in this case, the expansion will work in both ways. So if I'm following the arrows, it expands everywhere. I can show this quickly. Let's say I will create a new connected node in this direction. Let me also may change the color so we can see it better. So let's say like this, and let me create a new node which is connected in the opposite way. And if I now do the normal expansion without shift, ignoring the direction, also both orange nodes are selected. But if I go back and I will do the shift expansion only following the direction of arrows, the top orange node is selected, but the bottom one is not. Okay, so we have seen how selection works in OrgPad and how to do bulk changes of your content. And this is super useful. Even if you have a large document, you can reorganize it incredibly quickly. And this was also one of the improvements, one of the features we added to OrgPad very early in its development. I think it was added in the first 1 or 2 months, and we are using it pretty much every day when we work in OrgPad. So this is super essential. So thanks a lot for watching. And in the next video, we will take a look at some tricks, how we can quickly create nodes and links, and how to quickly change colors of existing nodes and copy colors and so on. There is a lot of cool stuff hidden in OrgPad.